All right, welcome back to Just Enough Garage. Guess what? Winter's here. It's raining. We got a couple things we're going to do. We managed to get that painted. We're going to work on a Saturn front wheel. I'm going to go get some Pinocchio wood to fix the inside of the doors. We're going to go inside the shop and do that. And we're going to take our brat for a drive to go get said wood. Let's get going. Thanks for the opener, John. Appreciate it. We got a lot of things to do today. But before we get going, I wanted to do an update real quickly. Come in close, John. Some people could not identify what I was talking about last week. I've heard that from a few people. This is twisted. Hopefully you can see it. What has happened is when they put a load on this, somebody, most likely they were doing a burnout and it hit pavement. They were on ice, it hit dry pavement. They did a big clutch dump. I don't know. Whatever you do in a Corvette where you rev it to the moon and you let the load take, and it twisted that. Of course, you saw in the last week's video, this was here. I have a new one of these ordered. Tell you a story about it. It'll be here in a few days, a week, I don't know. It's coming from San Antonio, Texas. I went to a local transmission shop and I said, hey, I need one of these. Can you order me one? And they said, no, you can order it yourself. This is the website we use. Allied Gear. I don't know anything about them. I went to the website. Everything's made in China. None of these are US made anymore. He says, that's the one we would order if we had a customer's transmission. That's what we would do. And I said, well, I'm going to throw some bones to the local business. He goes, it's just not worth it. This was a $95 part plus shipping and tax was $114. It should show up here any day. Hopefully it's the same. They claim it's from 1966 to 1987. This clearly is in the middle of that. So I'll let you know as we get to it. We've painted all the parts. We've cleaned everything. Come for a walk, Johnny. We got the shifter all apart and cleaned. We've got all of our bolts, nuts, washers. We painted that silver because we can fool people into thinking it's a Muncie. We've got all of our bell housing painted. We've got the shifter side painted. We've got this thing painted. We're ready to go as soon as we get parts. Now, the second phase of this, if you noticed, I did all the painting. Well, actually, John, you did quite a bit of the painting the other day. We got that ready to go. Let's talk about drive lines. These are my three choices. These two came with the car. This one I had. This one came out of I wrote it right here. 1989 S10 5-speed. And just for what's going on, GM parts are pretty universal. That one will fit in there. These two will definitely fit in there because I've checked them. So it must be the same as the Turbo 400. I don't know. See, those two will go in. They're kind of needs a little bit of, oh yeah, baby. But what that confirms to me is that this has not been twisted either. So sometimes these can get twisted, I understand, John. These just need to be cleaned up. They're rusty. I got a new seal kit. It's shipped. It's going to be here in a few days, but it came with all the gaskets, the front and rear seals. I did not do the synchros or anything. The transmission looked good. If you look closely at this, you still see the paint marks from the factory on all this stuff. It looked good. Okay, so that's an update on that. What are we working on next? Put that on pause. Let me get out the next project. All right, so this is the door. We talked about the doors. If you've noticed the car, John, that one has been like
falling off.
This one came not even attached. If you're just brand new to this little build saga, I know it's going to be boring for some of you because you guys want to see the whole car in 40 seconds. I can't do that. What you can see is what it realistically takes for a realistic weekend warrior putting together a realistically 90-year-old car with 50-year-old parts. So, what's happening with the wood? When I said earlier we're going to go get some Pinocchio wood, pallet board, that's a reference to Peg up north in Alberta. If you haven't watched his stuff, it's quite comedy. He's a little bit eccentric. Anyways, this wood is all coming apart. I want to go get some pieces that match it. So we're going to go fetch some pallet boards, free pallet boards, just marketplace free pallet boards. Why? Because this looks like pallet boards, doesn't it, Johnny?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. If I get a weathered up piece of wood, we can then probably today, tomorrow, whatever, move the 48 Ford pickup out here into the rain, set up the shop, and we can get some bolts and nuts and washers and screws and table saws, and we can be woodworkers, John, woodworkers, and put together our woodworking masterpiece to get this door to work. Some of it I'm not going to be able to repair. Some of it is going to be Darian doesn't have the skill set, the patience, the experience to fix all of it. But it's going to be good.
Good enough?
Just enough. It'll be good enough for what the car is and what it's going to be done. My goal here is I'm not a restorer. I'm a hobbyist. And what does a hobbyist do? Well, a hobbyist does his best. My best would be getting it back on the road. It is literally setting on that frame. There's a bunch of work to do. I like the car. It's a cool car. And so we're going to put the doors back together, make the windows function, and then eventually I think I'll stain all that and make it look real pretty and you know, just do it my own way. So that being said, why don't you come on in here, John, before we take off to go get pallet wood to fix a 90-year-old car. What do we have under here? See, I do things when you guys aren't watching. Oh no, look what Darian found. A vintage Wyand, what is this thing called? An accelerator.
It says it on it.
It is an accelerator. Now, this is something I had. So I paid $125 for this, and we drove 225 miles round trip to go get it last weekend. The reason I wanted this one is A, it looked good, but more importantly, these were produced between the late 60s and the very early 80s. So it was a 70s era thing. I'm trying to make this car look like a 70s era street car, like something a kid would do who didn't have a lot of money, whatever. I got the jelly bean mags. I've also got these turbine style. You got the power steering. I got to do something with the brakes, but we've got to get the engine and transmission together. This engine should run, the transmission should work, and this accelerator intake manifold, I wanted one that was a little higher, but I just couldn't find them. Truthfully, we don't have any junkyards here in our county. They got rid of them in the 90s. It was offensive. I live in a very restrictive part of the state. In fact, the whole state is restrictive. Whatever. So I'm doing my thing. And for those of you who had not heard about my carburetor wall of shame, it's probably too dark in there to see. Oh no, you can see him. That second one up. So years ago, I made that display of all the carburetors that I had that were junk. That second one up, guess what? That's the one we're going to use, and it's junk. And I know it's junk because I took it off my RS Capri. There was a video. Mariana could link it. Very early in our YouTube days, that's a car that I've had since the 90s. I wanted to drive it. The carburetor was giving me trouble. I just bought another one, put on it. Well, that one there is a Carter AFB from, well, easily it was in there in the 90s. So I've owned it for 30 some odd years. And I just put it up there. I'm going to get a rebuild kit, and I'm going to use it on this because, again, it's vintage to what I can find. And I have a whole exhaust system over there we're going to put on. I think we're pretty close. I think if we get that input shaft and we can fix that doors, we put all of what we got together, we should be there, John. We're very close. We have to do something with the huge dent. Let's do a walk around. Oh, I got to do something with all that rot. I got to do something with something in there. That all come with time. That door is, you can see, is pretty sad. This wood is pretty sad. This dent is pretty sad, but I've talked to an old-time body guy. He's going to help me. But he says bring it over when you get it running and driving. So we're going to do that. We have to figure out a fuel tank. And this was the fuel tank hole right here. And then it only had the one driver's side tail light. But I have a second tail light here on this other fender that somebody put with the car. So I think I might weld that up, John, and put two tail lights on it. The trunk lid is right there.
I'm tripping over it.
And then we'll mount that. But everywhere is wood in these cars. They basically took metal and put it over a wood frame, because like here's a piece of wood right here, and then there's no wood under there. It's rotted out. So it's going to be flimsy at best. I mean, it's going to be like a tea bucket or something where it's going to be authentic. It's going to be an authentic hot rod. There's no two ways about it. But anyways, we might have to spot weld a bunch of this together. And anyways, just follow with us on the journey. Let's take my 1986 Brat. You guys have seen it in the opener. We use it. I drive it quite regularly, but it hasn't run in 2 weeks probably, John. It's the last time we went anywhere in it. Let's go on into town while it's raining today, get a couple of pallet boards, match the wood, come back and get started for sure. Let's get going. Okay, Subaru Brat 1986. There was videos about it. I'm revisiting some of these because I use these. And I wanted to show you. This is sat here for a couple of weeks. It has a key down here because this is bungo inside and I can't find all the parts. So you hear it has a fuel pump, electric. That's the way Subaru did it. Carbureted still. 87 was the last year. This is an 86. Usually it's a couple of pumps. And it's sat here for 2 weeks. It's just such a dependable little car. It's great. Emergency brake doesn't really work. See, we're starting to roll down. You get it all the way, it works all right. Get our defroster going here. These were all set up. You can see that it was set up for air conditioning, but that would have been a fat dealer option. This one didn't have it. There used to be a radio here. Where I got that pin would have been the... And then there was a cassette player here. Somebody did this. These are very hard to get. This plastic's very hard to get. It's all bubbly. There's a few cracks in the windshield. I have another windshield. I have extra tops. I have a lot of stuff. You know, it's a cool car. The oil pressure gauge does not work because there's a fitting in the oil pump for the pressure that I couldn't get out. I had a gauge on it once, so I know it had oil pressure, but that was all disconnected. Speedometer works, RPMs work. Voltage always reads low, but when you put up the meter, it reads right. Fuel gauge works, and a temperature gauge will work. Anyways, let's back out here. 4-speed, these all came 4-speed. Somebody will say, well, what about a 5-speed? If you had a station wagon, you could get a 5-speed, and people did convert them, but the high gear was the same straight through. It wasn't overdrive, so your second, third, and fourth were different. That's the windshield wipers. That's the headlights. Clock works. Anyways, when we get there, we'll show you what we're doing. So I thought I'd show you a little bit. This thing does run on the freeway. It was geared for 55. You can see the little 55. I'm running 65, and we're just barely above 3,000 RPM. It's just starting to come up on temperature. It's been, what, 2 or 3 minutes since our house. Anyways, just thought I'd show you a little bit of the freeway. Like I said, I drive it quite often, but, you know, it's a Subaru. It's a Brat. Okay, so stupid idea maybe, but look at that wood. I think that wood matches what we got in that Oldsmobile, don't we, John? Color-wise, maybe not. We've got some choices. All that other stuff is so new. We're in the back alley here. You can see there's some building lots available if somebody wants to move in. Otherwise, the Subaru's doing its thing. I didn't tell you, John, there's a tire pile that we needed some 14-inch tires from. We're out scavenging today for that Saturn. One or two of them is pretty bad, so let's go see if we can find that. I know where there's a tire pile. It's free tires. So let's go look at that while we got the Brat in town, and then we'll head back and start working. Come in here, John. Look at that. There's little specks of grub in here still. All right. So we're ready to assemble this. This morning we've been monkeying around. We actually bolted on the intake manifold. Didn't matter. It took a while. We don't have all the bolts on those aluminum ones. Come check it out. On these aluminum ones, these ones here, we have to get some special bolts. These headed ones didn't fit. I haven't painted that yet. Anyways, you can see it's an accelerator line. It's been sandblasted before we got it. So I'm just going to leave it that look. I think it's as hot roddy as I can make a small block Chevy on my budget. And to hot roddy it up, we've got this. So this kit I bought online for like $30. It's all the new seals and gaskets. In here is our new seal. Okay, so yesterday this is the next day in case no one's keeping up. It's beautiful. We didn't work yesterday after we got those pallets, John, because it was raining. We spent time with grandkids instead. Well, I did. Hey, put in your comment if you have grandkids. I got 3 grandsons. Some are just like this, and some are like, you know, like this. So that's their ages. Anyways, this shaft came. It has a notch in it. I don't know what that means. I'll show you my original one.
It means your clutch will get halfway.
And you see the difference. Is that was twisted just slightly. We've showed that. Okay, whatever. Now let's see. This came out of Houston or San Antonio. Apparently it was made in China. Apparently it was made on the 9th, October 23 of 23. This is what a transmission shop recommended. This is what they would do. And you know what? That was what I was worried about, and that's going to be fine. So now, this will go in here like this, and then it'll all go back in. But I have to put, John, or myself, has to put all the bearings back in there, so that when we assemble this,
it works.
That's the slider where the gear selector goes in there, and this one. And these shift these. Okay. So, I'm thinking, John, if we get all the bearings in, and we could put this up like this. Okay. One of us could hold that. We'll put the camera on the stand. And the second one of us could take that part there, and just, this would be like this. And we could just, what do you think?
I think that's going to be real difficult, but sure.
Well, I got all these new gaskets, and we have to put this gasket on first. I'm thinking about getting some of my glue. We got to clean this surface. And then putting some of my glue on that gasket, and then putting some glue on there, so when it goes together, boom. And then that's the most critical one, then everything else can be like laid down or whatever. So that's kind of where we're at with it. So let's I think putting it on its side is going to be like a nightmare and a half. Oh, here's the, remember we needed a 2x4 last video and we didn't have it? Because that'll come in, come in, come in, come in, come in, come in, and stop right there. So really, we should set the bearing on after that's in. Actually, let's put the bearing on and make dang sure it's the right size in the hole. What do you think of that?
I think that's a crazy idea.
Where'd that other clip go right here?
That clip that holds it, oh yeah, that's for the...
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
And so it doesn't leave the shaft, and then the other big clip is for...
Well, how did that slide off before, and this is a press-on one now?
I don't know.
So that went on, then the little clip went in there, and the big clip went there on the outside of the case.
Yeah.
Alright, well I guess we need to taparoo that on. Okay.
Having a great time, aren't you?
Well, you know, that's the problem when you mix new parts with old parts with old parts with new parts, is you get some of this.
Oh, I thought you were gonna grab the claw hammer and
John.
put the bearing on.
No.
See, look, it's not a press fit. It's a push fit.
It's a I'm almost there fit. Needs to go just a little bit more. Probably about that much. Okay. So now we'll just
I was probably supposed to be pushed on afterward.
yeah, probably. I don't know anything about transmissions. This is what I was concerned with, because you see, let's measure it, because this outside diameter, they were calling for a size, and mine wasn't measuring with what the internet said, and then everybody said it'll be the same. Before I freak out, let me go get my stuff and measure it, then we'll be permission to freak out, and we'll be justified freak out. All right, just walk away.
So, what did we learn?
Well, we're huge failures, and you know, I was not wrong for freaking out last week and saying I don't want anything from China. The dirty dogs can't do it right, and I will explain. Because on the websites for all these places, they have a measurement, and they say this outer gear has a measurement of 2 inches 850 thousandths. They're true. And I said, well, I don't really care, because I got a measurement. Oh my gosh, look at that.
What's...
I got a measurement of 2 inches 700 thousandths. Okay, what's the difference there, John? 150 thousandths of an inch. Now visually, when you look at these, if you look right down here, you'll see that these synchro deals are above these gears. This is smaller. You look here, and that's larger. You see that's way above those. Can you see that?
I'm trying to line them up, yeah.
Okay, so what happens is it pushes it out of the gear further, which now when this is in there, our center line has been moved up. Well, what's half 150? 75 thousandths. 75 thousandths is nowhere close to center line. That miles will be 14 kilometers. It's massive. And I'm getting frustrated with it. And I'm going to lose my attitude here real fast. Because I saw all that on the internet and everybody said they're the same. They're the Darian. It's probably got some wear to it. It's probably in the new part. No, it's wrong. 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 Now, how do I fix it? Apparently, because this is supposed to fit 1966 to 1987. All of these are supposed to be the same. Well, then why is this one different?
It's a special one.
How can it be special? It came off the same production line. What do you think this is, a Christine gear case? All of a sudden it's got its own personality? So, I mean, yeah, anybody who wants to go ahead and look up the GM number there. What is that number, John?
We're upside down.
It's all garbage anyway, so let's turn it over. 3922650. There's some other numbers, but they don't matter anymore because none of them, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. They're the same. They're the same. They're not the same. And I don't understand why I can't order that part. Why do I always have to order that part? Every website had the same. And I started to doubt myself, saying, Darian, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to read an indicator. 150 thousandths of an inch is nothing. Why are you worried about it? Because it's wrong. So I'll go back to the transmission shop. And they're not going to help me because I'm not their customer, because they didn't want to order that for me because they're like, it's $100. We don't care. Just take care of it yourself, kid. Actually, the guy was younger than me. But the point is it's like, okay, so now I know that that doesn't work. So where do I get the one that has the gear of this? Well, I'll tell you where we get it, John. We go buy another one of these transmissions, and then I will say, oh, I've invested $600 in used transmissions. Why didn't I just go buy a working one for $1,000 and be done with it?
Because you didn't think that through?
Because on the internet it said they were the same. They're not the same, and this really frustrates me about these. I'm just gonna, all right, rant is not over. We're gonna grind my gears continually on this. Why can't these manufacturers figure it out? Why can't they help a guy like me, you know? Has anybody else been in that position? Where, now I'm just mad right now, and this is me being extremely frustrated, is because I can't finish my product because there's nothing out there in the world that will actually be the same. Everything's got to be a little different. Well, you know what you need to do? What? Take this to a lathe and shave that down? I mean, that's insane. That's insane to think that I'd have to do that.
Also, if you shaved it down, it'd still be wrong.
Yeah, the gear depth would be different. It's the wrong gear. They made it wrong. There's no other way. You can't sugarcoat it and say, oh, well, Darian, it's just the way it is. Okay, so you got a 240 thousandths of an inch. See that? There's a little bit there, but that's 240 thousandths of an inch. The overall diameter is made for what? What? And if it's made for something different, then why is there not two choices? Why is everything the same, but then different? Did GM do that? Was this one made somewhere and that one was made somewhere else? So you know what, if I go buy another transmission, John, then this won't be the same, and then the case won't fit, and then we're taking that gear out of there.
Yeah, you'll buy another transmission and it'll be this shaft.
So now you're saying this gear here, this is its companion gear, this guy right here.
Yeah.
So now is that one different? And then it would have came out the front? I don't know. So now you're like, oh, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, I need the whole.
In theory, that would have come out.
You know, maybe that's why in 1990 those guys just threw this thing on the shop floor and walked away and put something else in the car.
Well, they also did twist and crack part of the shaft.
Right, but you see what I'm saying? Is they knew they couldn't fix it 35 years ago, so they just said the hell with it and put a different one in. You know, this video is just going downhill. I moved the door and it all fell apart. The transmissions don't fit. I got bolts that don't work on vintage manifolds. Paint looks good from far, but far from good. This is a horrible video. Thank you for watching it. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with this. For all the effort I've been putting into trying to make this thing a 4-speed, it's like the coolest thing in the world, but yet I'm being, like, you know, deterred somehow. You're just sitting here laughing at me, John, as I'm going processing the failures of my life.
You're just not cool enough to put a 4-speed together.
No, I can't get the right parts. I can't get them. It's like they don't make them. I mean, should I just go ahead and cut this shaft off and that shaft off, and somebody on a lathe do this and that, and then I could countersink that over that and turn that down and bore that out and put that piece on there and then weld it and shit. I mean, it would work.
It'd work great.
It would work.
But
I mean, is that where we're at? And
who do you know who has a lathe?
Nobody. Otherwise, I'd do it myself. But is that where we're at in society? Is we just custom make our own parts?
Also, are these?
Yeah, that part's all. Everything's right except for the major part that's wrong. You know?
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Everything else is right. Well, I don't know. Maybe this ain't even right. I don't know.
I don't know. It was lining up, kind of.
Does it match? Does it match this?
I don't know. I ain't no technician. You're putting it on backwards.
Sure am.
Yeah, that part worked.
So how can they make it right and not work?
This might just be a different Saginaw. Like, you know, there might be like 3 different.
So what's the transmission shop do with this? Is this where they tell you you have an unbuildable part? Call us when you find the pieces. I mean, what do people do? Anybody here ever work on transmissions? Because every time I touch them, it seems like there's, oh yeah, everything's the same except for yours. Does that happen to everybody? I mean, this would absolutely fit, except for, will it even shift? Oh, it would.
Yeah, now you got straight through gear.
Now it's stuck, probably.
Probably.
Oh, bugger.
Well, that's transmission's junk.
Yeah. This was the practice one. Oh, no. Right there, neutral. There you go. I don't know. I just know it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. Now, the next video clip, everybody's going to be like, hey, look, Darian figured it out. No, there's no way to figure it out when the thing is physically too large.
Again, you just have to find one of your friends that has a lathe. Or go down to a machine shop and be like, all right, I need this.
I'm getting so sick of this crap, John.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing. I'm working with this antique garbage. So I guess, you know, I've been bad-mouthing the other YouTubers internally. You guys haven't heard my frustrations when I see a guy. I watch YouTube. I see a guy has a pallet delivered with a Tremec 6-speed and a brand new engine and everything, and I'm like, yeah, of course it's
brand
easy.
new LS.
Of course it's easy. It's all easy when you order parts new. But you know what? They don't have any of these problems.
Well, they did when they started off.
Something out of manufacturing for the last 40 years. Yeah, there's nothing I can do, John. There's no way to make it work. The internet lied to me twice on this job. Do you know that?
You should go for a third time.
I will. I will fall for it again. Is there a part number on here?
I don't know.
Yeah, number 3. Just go get part number 3.
Well, let's see if there's a part number on here.
With a blue and orange dot on it. I wondered if there was a washer in there. And that looks like it. We'll have to dig that out if we ever get a new piece. Maybe it's not a washer. Some of them have washers. Who cares?
You cares?
You know, I talked about just taking my grinder and trying to grind the heel off of that.
Yeah, but if you look closely, there's a crack. There's a crack.
Yeah.
They broke it, too.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is maybe I'll just put it back together and grind the heel off of that. Because I can't get the part I need. They're out of stock. This is it. It's either this or you throw the transmission in the garbage. That's all I can come up with.
You already came up with a solution. Just cut it there.
Well, you'd cut it way up there, and then you would thread that, and you'd cut this one way up here, and you would put that internal threads in there, and you would thread it together in such a direction that it would stay threaded, and then you'd have a couple of plug holes you weld in there, and then it's like, it's as good as you can do. I mean, I watched the videos on what they do in India. That's what I would do.
I thought it was Pakistan.
Whatever. Tomato.
Anyways, it would work.
I'm mad. I'm going to go in the house, John, and just, like... Everybody wants to know, why is your project set for 6 months?
Well, you got mad at it.
It didn't want to go back together. I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah, you had all these big plans of putting that back together.
Oh, I mean, I was like
slipping it in the
slam,
car,
slam,
slip
slam,
that in.
bam, boom. All of our drive lines were going to cut one down. I mean, we were going to be heroes, John.
Yeah, it was gonna be the best time ever. Now your door's falling apart.
My door's falling apart.
The shaft's wrong. We don't have all the bolts. We're having a great day.
And it's just what you do with these projects. People don't tell you that, but I'll tell you that. All right, well, I don't really think that this is the good way to cut the video. But I'm kind of frustrated right now, so I need to recoup. All right, turn that off. I'll see what we're doing. Maybe we'll just jump on that Saturn and see why all the parts I got from Rock Auto are wrong, and then really just finish out the day strong. So let's talk about the Saturn. This is all big one clip. Who cares? I need to do something with it. It's got a wheel bearing problem. Delivered the parts were $29, John. They made these between 1992 and like 2010, I think. And it runs really good. And the 5-speed works. And it doesn't look too horrible. And I practically got it for going to pick it up. And it has a title. So if I fix the wheel bearing, we find some used tires, a guy could put this back to work, like, you know, a commuter car or a, you know, well, that's about it. Just a work car.
Just a car.
It's just, you know, you're making 15, 18, 22 bucks an hour and you need a car for 6 months till you get something better. You know, maybe while your Dodge is broke down or your Power Stroke, you need a little car. This is like right up there. Or maybe when your worthless Saginaw doesn't work, maybe GM bails you out on that, you know, and maybe that'll work. I don't know. Let's work on something else. Because this is, yeah, this, I just want to cry. Don't listen to anything I say. Whatever your part number is, just forget it. Doesn't matter. I probably need that box to return it.
Yeah, probably.
Shoot. Yeah. That's it. I'm done. The clutch don't fit. I'm going to take my grinder and I'm just going to grind that heel off just a little bit. I'm just going to straighten the curve.
And what are you going to do?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to grind that one. And then I'm going to grind that one. I'm going to grind that one. I'm going to put it in my dang car. And when I do a big massive burnout and it blows apart, then I'm going to take this transmission, put it in the garbage, and go find another one.